The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Schaap. You may know me from ESPN's Outside the Lines and Sports Center. What you probably don't know is that I've suffered from Crohn's disease for almost 20 years. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America's Take Steps, Be Heard walk program is the largest national walk program dedicated to raising funds and awareness to combat Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. To learn more about how you can help and to find a walk site near you, please visit www.cctakesteps.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hi, I'm Hillary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire. It's Rod Beckett.
Good morning, good Tuesday morning to you, one and all of you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the globe. It is I, your lovable host, Elrod. Here it is, Tuesday, May number 27 in the year of our Lord 2017. Call-in number this morning, 603-835-3226. And what a night we had. I mean, there's all kinds of things going on this morning. We're going to get into try to get to all of it this morning. Of course, there's the CNN bombshell. There's the, what else is there? There's the Google. Something happened with Google. There's something from Project Veritas. What they're doing out in Colorado. And you're not going to believe how. Well, let me just ask you this. If the CNN thing is nothing but a ratings grabber, and we got some stuff here on that. I mean, this is insidious, folks. So if there really is no Russian collusion on the part of the Trump administration or the Republicans, well, we know that there's collusion, either purposeful or accidental, on the Democrat side. We know that there's collusion there. But if there's no collusion whatsoever, if this is nothing but a made-up fake narrative that they've been pushing, and this whole Mueller investigation is a bunch of bullshit, then what exactly is it that the leftists don't like about Donald Trump? What exactly has he done that they really can't get their arms around? I mean, he hasn't gotten rid of Obamacare because the Republicans in Congress can't get their act together. So he hasn't got. So what has he done? Well, he's had that travel ban. That's the Supreme Court says was fully constitutional basically. So most of it's been reinstated, but it's nothing different than Obama did. Obama did the same damn thing. Exactly the same thing with the exact. I mean, the second. Let's face it, folks. The second executive order that came out of Trump that was based for this supposed travel ban thing were the exact countries that Obama banned at one point in his second term. So this is nothing different that hasn't been done before. So again, I ask you liberals, what exactly is it that Donald Trump has done to make you hate him so much? Oh, he's boorish. Oh, big frickin' hairy deal. Obama was just a wimpy, mamby-pamby guy who bowed to a king. And it was, you know, it was so bad because you tried to make it look like Trump bowed, and Trump never bowed. In fact, the Saudi Arabian king was the first to come up to Trump and shake his hand and bow to him. You got the Prime Minister, President of India, running up to the president when he gets here and hugs the guy. This whole notion that world leaders don't like Trump, don't think that's a bunch of bullshit too. Oh, sure, the one world, one government bureaucrats don't like Trump. No. But they're not the ones that have the majority of the power in the world anymore. What you have is a bunch of real leaders who come up to this guy and hug. He doesn't even go to them. They come to him. They hug him. They firmly and gladly shake his hand. They sit next to him. I mean, you had the Polish president here. I mean, you had Ukrainian president. He's so happy that because Trump is like, hey, we got your back from now on. We know Obama didn't have it, but now America's got your back. You got the Ukrainian president. You saw his entire posture change when Trump said that. When they had when was the last, how many foreign leaders, presidents and prime ministers of other countries that Barack Obama host in the White House? His entire 8 years. I mean, Trump in his first 6 months, not even 6 months in, and he's had what? India, he's had Poland, he's had Ukraine, and there's been a bunch more. Did Obama do that? No. Did you have the Saudi king giving Obama an award? And that's what everybody says, well, look, Trump bowed to the king when he got his award. Well, you dolt. Of course you got to bend over. Trump is 6'2", and the Saudi king is kind of short. Whenever a king knights you, you bend over to receive the award. You don't bow. Obama bowed to the guy without getting a damn thing. So, I mean, what exactly is it? You leftist scum that you really disdain the president about. Well, he's boorish and he pushes his way to the front. So freaking what? It's not the first time world dignitaries have tried to make themselves, put themselves in a spotlight. There's a reason for that. I don't give a damn if he shoves a useless, weak, wimpy, worthless country's president aside. Rod, you can't say, look, there are countries that are worthy of our attention and there are countries that are not. I'm sorry, but that's just the way the world works. I'm not saying we're better than anybody else. I'm just saying that we've got more important things to do. If you want to talk the president of Lithuania versus the president of China, well, I'm going to push the president of Lithuania out of the way so I can get to the president of China. Why? Because China's more important than Lithuania. Well, let's not pretend the left doesn't think the same damn thing. It's called geopolitics. And you don't get anywhere and you don't get your country anywhere by sitting back and being all completely fake with this fake humility kind of crap. Oh, we know we're the USA and we're currently the world's most powerful military and economic power on the planet, but we're just going to hang back and let everybody take the spotlight because we don't need to talk to anybody. Oh, bullshit. We need to be in the front of the line talking to everybody else who's at the top of the food chain. You don't need to be stuck back there with Lithuania. Give me a freaking break. Nothing against Lithuania. I'm just using them as an example. Again, it's not that the fact that we think that we're better than anybody else, but are we more important? Well, let me just ask you this. When it comes to the economy, who's got a bigger, more important world economy, us or Lithuania? Well, we do. Who's got a bigger population representing more of the world than us or Lithuania? We do. Who's got the bigger, badder military that protects a lot of different countries around that are the size of Lithuania? Us or Lithuania? We are. Does it make us better? No, but it does make us more important. I'm not going to hide that China truth. And if you leftists think that is just freaking arrogant, well, too damn bad. Grow up. We're a powerful, badass nation, and we need a powerful, badass president leading it. So is that what you don't like about him? Because he's not a wimpy, lead from behind kind of guy? Hell, you got BB. Look, when was the last time you had a president who got half the Middle East together to form a coalition to oppose the other evil half of the Middle East? I mean, you've got Saudi Arabia and Egypt basically telling Qatar shut down Al Jazeera because they're shut it down or we'll shut it down for you. When was the last time they did that? When was the last time that they decided they were going to stand up for themselves and not have the United States do everything for them? That's called a world leader getting involved and saying, look, we're not going to do everything for you. You guys got to show to us that you really want this. Start putting your own resources and blood and treasure in harm's way. We're not going to do it all for you. Do you really want to work with us and get rid of these evil Neanderthals over there? Then start acting like it. I mean, right after his trip to the Middle East, what happened? We had this Middle East coalition between a bunch of people we didn't think that would ever get together. Not only did they get together, they've been unified ever since. Did Obama do that? No, Obama went over there and apologized for American greatness. Give me a freaking break. What a joke Obama was for 8 freaking years. I mean, you had it used to be, well, it is again now, but it used to be before Obama, it was the Europeans and the rest of the world was, well, what is the U.S. going to do about this? What does America think? What is America doing? And Obama got in office, and in pretty short order, the French, especially the French, the Italians, and the British were saying, well, screw the Americans. They're not doing a damn thing. We got to do this on our own. Granted, they should be doing things on their own to protect themselves. I get that. But when you're the world's most powerful military, you're not, and they don't even consult you, well, screw the Americans. They're not going to do a damn thing. That tells you got the wrong leader. For 8 years, we had the wrong leader. 8 frigging years. So America's back as a leader on the world stage. Is that what you liberals hate? We have unemployment that is heading into the basement. That means you guys are all going to, all you Occupy Wall Streeters and Antifas, you're probably going to have to get a job now. Is that what you hate? You're going to actually make money because you're going to get a real job and you're going to move out of your parents' basement. Is that what you hate? Is that why you don't like Trump? Because he's going to make you go to work? You don't like Trump because he's bringing American pride back across the entire globe? People are respecting this country again? Do you hate him because he's actually trying to protect the American people and our interests around the globe? Is that what you hate? Because Obama didn't do that. So is that what you hate? Or do you hate it that he's actually drawing a line in the sand? Let's pick Syria, and he isn't erasing that line. He's standing on that line firmly and say, cross it and you're going to pay. Obama didn't do that. Is that what you hate because he's standing firm on what he says? Do you hate it that he's giving the American people back some freedom? Do you hate the fact that the Supreme Court supports him in the Constitution of what he's doing? Is that what you hate about Donald Trump? Well, it can't be the Russian collusion thing because we know, according to CNN, that's just fake BS. We're making that up for ratings. Do you hate it because he's been proven right about this Russian collusion thing? I mean, we saw this. Remember Michael Cohen? They were saying, Michael Cohen is over there already. It wasn't Donald Trump's Michael Cohen. But that's what they made it sound like. Remember that? So what is it exactly that you leftists don't like about Donald Trump? Honestly. Now, you can say his conservative politics. I will get that. But you guys haven't said any of that. Other than when it comes to Obamacare, which really isn't going anywhere. We'll get into that, too, a little bit later. But what is it that you don't like about it? Because everything that you say you don't like about him has been proven to be false, fake news. So, again, exactly, what is it about Donald Trump that you leftists don't like? You just don't like the fact that America is becoming what it once was. Great again, isn't it? Admit it.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, L-Rod, here on The Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
And now a message from our sponsor. Ladies, tired of drying your hair with the same old vacuum cleaner? Try Avon Shave brand new Beauty Locks portable hair dryer. It's smaller, it's faster, it's guaranteed to give you the hair you've always wanted in half the time. Beauty Locks is delicate and dainty, just like you. The dryer weighs only a pound and easily fits in your hands. Now that's beauty and convenience. With a speedy motor that will dry your hair in as little as 25 minutes, you can get gorgeous hair without falling behind schedule. Don't worry about the little ones or that pie in the oven. Thanks to an extra-long extension cord, you can move around while primping your locks. Forget those long trips to the salon and no more waiting for hours under monster machines. Avon Shave gives you an easy and speedy hairdo that will blow your man away. Get it now at your nearest Macy's.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
Six 603-835-3226. That is the call-in number should you wish to utilize it here on The Rod Eccles Show this morning. I was told I had to improve my diction. You know the problem with being an English, well, I shouldn't say Englishman, but a proper diction kind of person is that your speech cadence and pattern must slow down because you must be able to form clearly every single word. And it really sounds terrible anyway. When people do that, it's kind of annoying. Don't you? When somebody really does that, and they start, what is the first thing you feel? You get annoyed because you feel like they're making fun of you or something, like you're too stupid to understand. Isn't that what we do to people when they don't understand us? We slow down. Not only do we see, you ever notice that? When somebody doesn't understand English or something, we talk a little bit louder and slower, as they're not deaf, they just don't understand. You can slow down and pronounce your words with perfect diction, but we always tend to raise our voices as if they're, the louder we get, the better they will be able to understand us. Communication is funny, how humans communicate with one another. And it's pretty amazing how you can look at somebody. This is probably why Trump likes meeting people face to face. And this is no joke, folks. There is a lot that is lost when you're communicating with people, when you're not in front of them face to face. Most of the information in that communication is lost when you're not face to face. When you're on the phone with somebody, you can't tell, what their facial expression is, what their eyes are doing, how their mouth is forming the words, what their body language is. All you have is voice and voice inflection. And that is just a small portion of the total communication package. It is very important to be able to see how somebody is saying whatever they're saying. Not just listening to what they're saying, but how they are saying what they are saying. For instance, if they're a hand talker, normally, and while they're talking to you about something important, they're not moving their hands, there's something wrong. There is. But you can't see that on a telephone. Just saying. How many times are you listening to you're listening to this program, and you have absolutely no clue what I'm doing with my hands. I mean, there are times when I'm getting going and I want to pound the desk and my hands are flying all over in the air, but you can't see that.
Well, that's why you need to have video, Rod.
Well, I get that. We're working on it. But you can't see it. And this is true with radio. You're on, listen to people on the radio. I don't care who it is. You don't know what the hell they're doing. You get at most, if you're lucky, half of the information coming out of their voice. And actually, they've proven it's less than that. So oftentimes it's very important, especially when you're doing negotiations and stuff. It's very important that you get to meet the person or talk to the person in negotiations face to face. So it's just the way just the way it works. That's just so it's not so much on the diction of what you're saying here, but any case, let's see there is something here this morning that I might as well get this out of the way. You're talking about online dating. And this is from the Sacramento Bee. On if you're from Long Island, online dating. I guess according to the Sacramento Bee, Donald Trump is killing romance. Yeah. In the treacherous, amusing, and sometimes rewarding world of online dating, Donald Trump has become the newest way to find or reject a romantic match. Did you vote for or do you support Trump? Then I'm not your man. It would never work. You mean there's a man out there that I can understand how men couldn't, because these women, sometimes these anti-Trump women, they're bullies. And let's face it, men these anti-Trump men, they're not real men. So and real men, they can't like slug a woman. So that's just not the right thing to do. So What I'm looking for, well, this is crazy day and age. First and foremost, someone who did not vote for Trump. That's what they're all looking for. Somebody who didn't vote for Trump. I kid you not. Swipe left if you voted for Trump.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
603-835-3226. Welcome back. These wonderful dating services, well, most of them are not dating services. People are rejecting people. Well, I guess you swipe left. What is it? You swipe left if you don't like them, or you swipe right if you do, whatever. I don't know how they all work, but I now there's a couple of them here that they're talking about. In this particular piece, that I do know about one of them, Tinder. Now, evidently, I mean, you have a limited amount of space in your profile to describe who you are. And I guess leftists, the wonderful snowflakes, are really expressing how much they hate Donald Trump. Well, of course, if you're a girl, if you're a liberal girl, well, I mean, it's good for guys. And you're a conservative guy, you don't want to deal with that mess. So maybe it's a good thing that they are expressing, their political views so much. If the political views mean that much, if it's really that much a part of their life, then yeah. Well, me personally, I couldn't date an ultra liberal. Are you kidding? She would drive me absolutely insane. Could not, no. But I mean, if they were that adamant in that. But if they were more run-of-the-mill type of Americans who really, it doesn't matter who's in office, blah, blah, blah. That's a different story. But if they were, I hate Donald Trump, there's no way in hell I could date him. No way. I mean, I see it. But these aren't dating sites anyway. Well, what is Bumble? I got to admit, I've never heard of Bumble. Well, evidently, it's a lot like Tinder. Well, Tinder is not a dating site. Tinder is a booty call site. It's a hookup site. You're only basing what you're. How many people are reading the profiles on these things anyway? I'm sure. Maybe they're reading them more, but what's the big thing? You see a person's face. Are you attracted to that face or not? It's a hookup site. That's it. I mean, it's not like what is some of the real dating sites like? I see them all the time. On Cupid or something. Those are dating sites where people are actually going there looking for somebody to date. Places like Tinder and Bumble and Grindr and Bumper and Bender and all those other kind of things. They're all hookup sites. I have no idea if those, I wouldn't be surprised. Those others are probably sites too. I just started saying stuff. I have no idea if they're probably, what did I say? Is there a site called Bender? It's probably for drunks to hook up. I don't know. But there are tons. Well, Foursquare got to be that kind of a thing too. Is Foursquare isn't big anymore, is it? No, it's not. Nobody ever really used it. I didn't want to. I just didn't get into that kind of stuff. That location type of networking. It just seemed to be you're going to let everybody know where you are at any given time. Well, I don't think that's safe today. To do, especially if you espouse to be a Trump supporter or a conservative, and you're letting all your liberal social media friends know where you are, they can all come and gang up on you. I mean, that's because they're not all your friends. Obviously, they're just It's like I have close to 5,000 Facebook friends. Are they all friends? Oh, hell no. I don't know most of them. Hell, the people I do know, I really don't know anymore. I went to school with them at one point. I think if you went to high school with me and you have a Facebook account, we're probably friends, but I don't know most of them anymore. Haven't talked to them in years. I remember who they were, but they may not be that same person. In fact, I'm not that same person. I mean, years take a toll on people, and life takes a toll on people, and they change. Their beliefs may change. I mean, look, I'm definitely more conservative now than I was in high school. So college too. I mean, I have a lot of college alumni friends. I don't know them anymore. It's been years. So I wouldn't call them friends. I mean, even my best friend in high school, we've drifted apart. We don't live near each other. We've drifted apart. I don't know him anymore. He doesn't know me anymore. It happens. That's life. But so people in these dating. I wonder if that's the case in like eHarmony. Do people put their political affiliations on? See, I won't do that stuff. And I can't get rid of this thing on. What the hell is, as people have told me what Baidu or Badu is. It's a Google dating site, I guess. Maybe, or is it a Yahoo? I have no idea. All I know is I have an account there, no picture, but I can't get rid of it. I'm trying to eliminate it, and it keeps telling me that I have to put in this, password. Well, I don't know the password because I don't ever remember setting up the damn. I've never set up a dating site account, and I can't get rid. And I keep getting these. I keep putting, I don't want Baidu or Badu notices anymore. And it works for like a week, and then I start getting these notices. This person is interested. Well, how can they be interested? There's no picture of me. I don't do dating sites. Not that I think, I actually know some people that have met through eHarmony, and they're married. Now, for some people it works. I'd rather meet somebody in person than... I want to do it the old-fashioned way, personally. Not. If you've met your spouse or significant other on a dating site, bully for you. Great, I'm happy for you. Just not for me. I remember when I first got divorced, I tried. I think it was eHarmony had a free week or something, and it just I deleted my account after that because it was terrible. It was a terrible experience. Call me picky. Yeah, I'm picky, but no. Trust me, I've done well without using these dating sites. So I'm not going to swipe left or right. And besides, you can pretty much tell if somebody is going to be a Trump hater or not. You can probably just look at him and tell. And I won't even go over and talk to him. Won't even strike up a conversation. But there you have it. So Donald Trump is... Now what we should be doing is tracking this and seeing how many they probably won't even get married, but seeing how many snowflakes get together, get married, and then get divorced. I know that's going to take a few years to track, but it'll probably work itself out in a short order of time. Speaking of Google and Baidu or Badu or whatever, is that Google or is that, I don't know who it is. Everybody's got like their own dating site. But speaking of Google has been slapped with a $2.7 billion US dollar fine over its search results in the European Union. It orders Google to treat rival comparison shopping services equally in its search results. In other words, Google does over there worse than it does here as far as favoring its own brands and its own sites and what have you. And its algorithm picks out, well, we know they do it here. They pick out, their algorithm picks out stuff that is, especially if it's politics or political in nature or slant, political. If it's political or news slant, the more liberal you are, the higher you are in the search. You make it to those first two pages. You try, searching for stuff that, and that's a benign search term where you have the opportunity to get both liberal and conservative points of view of something. You're going to find liberals at the top all the time. Because that's Google's. Google makes no bones about it. They haven't denied it. Google admits that they are prejudiced. They have for a long period of time. Well, I guess the EU is getting a little sick of it. Look, I just tell people stop using. I don't know if they have other search engines in Europe, but stop using Google here. You don't have to use Google. I've told you about using Bing and Ask and those others that don't use a Google algorithm. And you'll often, if you put the exact same search term into different search engines, what you'll find is that Google will be the one that gives you the most different search result than the others. The others will be pretty, harmonistic? They'll be more in harmony of giving you similar results. Not Google. Google will give you stuff that is just, you're like, where the hell did they get some of this stuff to put it in the top? So the European Union's antitrust regulators earlier today fined Alphabet Inc., the parent holding company of Google, a record 2.42 billion euros or 2.71 billion US for favoring its own comparison shopping service in search results and order the search giant to apply the same methods to rivals as its own when displaying their services. That's a hefty fine for, let's face it. Let me be a devil's advocate here. Who developed it? Did the EU develop all the search engine and the algorithm and all the stuff and the infrastructure that went into making Google? No. Why would the EU get to determine what this is socialism run amok, folks? Now, understand this. I fully understand what Google is, who Google is, what they do, and how they do it. I don't know their algorithm. Nobody knows their algorithm. But I understand what that algorithm does. But it's their company. You don't like it, don't use it. This is socialism run amok. The problem with these search engine things is it's made us pretty lazy. We don't want to search for anything anymore. We just want to put in a long string search term, and then have everything just delivered at our door. We don't even the point. Most people don't even go past. It used to be that you would look at the first 3 pages of page results. Most people don't do that anymore. We've gotten so lazy that if it's not on the first page, then we go on to something else. So is it Google's fault that we don't want to go to a different search engine and look at, and if we don't find the results that we're looking for? No, it's ours. But the EU is bent on being so socialistic and controlling things that they did not build. By the way, Obama, yes, Google built that, not the government. Yahoo built that. You remember when Yahoo first came online back in the late 90s? Yahoo built that, not the government. Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg and his friends and cohorts built that, not the government. You didn't build that. Yeah, they did. And they spent their own damn money and they worked their asses off to get more people out there who had more money than they had to give them money to spend. And now they're getting a return on that. So yes, they did build that. So, and because they built that, you don't have the right to go in and start over-regulating them like crazy. And then fine, nearly a $3 billion fine for what? Honestly. As you know, I'm not a Google fan, but for crying out loud. $3 billion to go to the government because you favor your own companies in search engine results? Really? I mean, that is the most asinine thing I've ever heard. Well, it's not the only thing that they have to deal with here. Comparison shopping is they've got a decision on it. A nearly $3 billion fine. Android is in the middle of being investigated. I think iPhone, Apple has a bigger market than Android, right? Why are they investigating Android? Advertising on Google. Local search and travel maps on Google. I don't even know what scraping is, but there's a formal probe into Google scraping. This is just asinine. But this is socialism run amok, people. It is full-fledged socialism. Bordering on communism. And make no mistake about it, that little chickie poo that you see on Tinder, if she's an anti-Trumper, she wants the exact same thing here. Can you imagine if, now that we know that CNN really, by their own admittance, is fake news, can you imagine if that's the only thing we got to watch? Think about it.
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face, sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Call Rod now, 603-835-3226. Lines are open.
That's right. Don't walk away, because we need Trump, and even if you're a leftist, you need Trump. Not somebody to hate, but because everything that you claim that you want, other than shutting down the opposite's opinion, is you're going to get from Donald. You're going to get from the President Donald. Somebody asked me why do you say that? Well, because he's affectionately known as the Donald, but now that he's president, it's the President Donald. But here's a guy. He knows that people loathe him. He knows that. He knew that when he came down that escalator when he was about to announce his serious candidacy. He knew people were going to hate him. Well, look, Donald Trump makes no bones about who he is, what he is, or why he is. He makes no bones. The man was ridiculously wealthy. He makes no bones about that either. Yeah, I'm rich, so what? This is America, man. Yeah, I took $1 million loan from my dad and I turned it into a multi-billion-dollar worldwide empire. What's the problem with that? I love it when people say, "Oh yeah, well he got money from his dad." He got $1 million from his dad. So what? I mean, now they want to investigate his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, because he got a German bank gave Jared's where Jared worked, his company, $275 million loan. Oh, Jared Kushner's company before he left that company got a German bank to loan them $275 million. Well, it's not like that didn't happen before. It's not like any of that kind of big money. See, the problem is that most Americans don't deal in those kind of numbers on a daily basis. But when you're in the high echelons of big business, you deal with big numbers like that all the time. And look, these news organizations know that. But they make it sound like if anybody loans you that kind of money, it must be crooked or hush money or they expect something or it's a payoff or a buyout. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's something that happens every freaking single day. I mean, all you got to do is look at your stupid little companies out there in Silicon Valley, how much money that they borrow and get investors to pony up, how much money do they burn through every year? They don't even make any money back for years. And then even before they're even profitable, what do? They go to the stock market. And then what happens? Well, they have this phony inflated stock price, and then it goes up, and then all of a sudden, a day or two later, everybody realizes, well, wait. Snapchat isn't showing any profit. So the stock can't possibly be worth $100 a share. So then it collapses. But nobody talks about that. It's always bad when somebody who's connected to the Republicans or has a conservative viewpoint, and all of a sudden they get all this. How much money did Snapchat rake in from investors and loans before they went public? How about Facebook? How many millions, hundreds of millions of dollars did Facebook burn through before it went public? And that goes for all of them. Twitter. Most of them still, even if they're public, most of them still aren't making a profit. Anybody talk about them? No, it's only, Jared worked for this company, and this company got a $275 million loan from a German bank. So? It's called international finance. Big freaking hairy deal. I mean, and what's the big deal? Last I checked, Germany is supposed to be an ally of the U.S., right? They are in the EU, and the EU is an ally of the U.S. Last I checked, they still are. I know some of the countries don't act like it sometimes, but they still are an ally. So Germany's not Russia. So what are you saying? Are you saying that the liberal bastion, liberal globalist outlet of Germany is funneling Russian funds through them in order to give it to Trump? Is that what, folks? That's exactly what they're trying to portray without saying it. What they're trying to say is that the Russians are behind the money that goes through Germany. Well, the Germans are an ally. They don't like Russia like we don't like Russia, right? They have a bigger reason to hate Russia than we do because half their country was under Russian oppression for like 50 years. Called the Soviet Union the Iron Curtain. You can't. These people are. I'm over time. We'll be back.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of French fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
Thousands of families affected by disasters, like the recent wildfires, urgently need support. You can help the American Red Cross provide warm meals, shelter, and hope to families when they need it most. Please donate today to Red Cross Disaster Relief to help people affected by disasters, big and small. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. Your support is critical. We can't do it without you.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you could still have hepatitis C, a serious disease that's a leading cause of liver cancer. If you were born from 1945 to 65, you should get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments can cure this disease. Talk to your doctor about getting tested. A message from the CDC.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Premature birth is the #1 killer of babies. Those who survive often face birth defects and complications that affect them for life. For hundreds of thousands of families in the United States, this is the hardest thing they will ever have to face. And it's even harder on the baby. March of Dimes is providing education and support to families and funding life-saving research to give every baby a fighting chance. You can help. Do something today. Give them tomorrow at marchofdimes.org/tomorrow.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Not on my watch, our military service members say, as they volunteer to serve. As they move out, stand firm, and take fire. So not on our watch, we say, to the severely ill or injured veterans who can't get the care they deserve to live full and independent lives, even when there's no government funding or a nursing home seems like the only option. We won't leave one warrior behind. Not on our watch. Join us at findwwp.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 here on the Rod Eccles Show. Yes, indeed. Here it is. Tuesday, June number 27 in the year of our Lord 2017. I know this is the last week of June, folks. We got 2 months of summer left up here in the Northeast. Well, lately it's by the way, the call-in number is 603-835-3226. It seems of late, summer has pushed its way into September a little bit more than it used to be. It used to be like right around Labor Day. Labor Day week was it. I mean, that's when beach weather no longer happened. It just seemed to know it. But now that we've screwed up the calendar, because now kids are going back to school in mid-August in some places. This is the most asinine thing I've seen. Yeah, you got kids going back to school, not college either, but regular school. Some places across this country, in here in New England as well, kids are back in school by mid-August, like August, just after August 15th, talking August 16th, 20th, right in there. That's well, in my book, that's actually kind of cruel. Well, they're not learning anything anyway. We're extending the school year, but kids are still not learning a damn thing. You know, I talk to teachers all the time, and they are, every single one of them, and most of them, by the way, they're not Antifa type of Trump people, anti-Trump people, but they'd rather, because they don't like DeVos as secretary. Again, amazing stuff. Folks, let me digress here for a second. You have teachers. I talk to teachers a lot. I mean, there's teachers in my family. They constantly complain about not being able to actually teach. They got to teach to some stupid test, and every year it seems to be that these more and more of these standardized tests. They have like three of these kind of tests a year, and 2 of these a year, and one of the. It seems, you know, every quarter it seems like they have to take 1 or 2 standardized tests, and they're complaining that they don't get to teach. But along comes somebody like Betsy DeVos, who wants to eliminate a lot of this stuff, and they complain about it. Well, she's never been in education. She doesn't know anything. And they're mad at charter schools, because charter schools, you don't have to be certified. Well, I hate to break it to all you teachers today. You know, this whole certification nonsense, this came about because of liberal Department of Education. You guys didn't need to be certified before, and we had better education back then. You know, most countries don't certify their teachers. It's a way to abscond and abstract more money from you. Don't you guys get that? So you complain about the current educational system that you're not actually being able to teach, and you're actually being underpaid. And you got somebody that comes along, or a Republican that comes along and says, well, we want to increase your pay, reduce the regulation, and you want to complain about that? I mean, do you really realize what you're doing? Well, it is because of this ridiculous mantra that they've been fed when they were in school, especially when they go to college. This whole liberal stuff, this whole liberal mountain that has been built is really nothing. It's not a mountain of brick. It's not a mountain that's anything solid. It's a mountain of ashes and paper, and there's a fire burning underneath it. It's all coming crashing down because it has no substance. I mean, if you actually listen to a lot of these, you know, liberal nut jobs, whether they be adults or they snowflakes or what have you, if you actually listen, I try to listen, I really do. When you actually listen to them and you listen to their complaints and you say, well, hey, dude or dudette, your side put all that stuff that you currently are complaining about in place, not the Republican side. And you want to see that sort of thing blow their mind? They can't accept it. I kid you not. Everything in their world is completely backwards. If you are out there and you're trying to speak your mind, speak freely, they end up saying, we don't want fascists here. And you say, well, here, go ahead and say what you want to say. And they'll talk and talk and talk and talk. You say, well, can I have a turn? No, you're not allowed to because you're a fascist. Do you understand what fascist really is? And then you explain it to them, and they freak out on you. Folks, I'm not the only one who's noticed this. If you actually never noticed this and now you are noticing it, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. These people, they freak out. They don't even realize what they're complaining about. They don't even realize that what they're complaining about was all brought on. 99% of it was brought on by their side. Their liberal side, their liberal commanders. I mean, teachers don't like the way that they're being treated or being, the way they have to teach in classrooms. Well, who brought that on? It wasn't Republicans mostly. They complain about, well, no child left behind. Well, that sucks. Well, yeah, I know President George W. Bush was behind it, but who wrote the damn legislation? It was Ted Kennedy and his minions. So No Child Left Behind was written by leftists. And yet somehow all Republicans get blamed for it. I mean, this is just amazing stuff. Oh, we don't have any good paying jobs. Well, is it really Republicans like jobs? Whose fault is that? Your guy Obama, his entire administration was about destroying the American economy and jobs being shipped overseas, all kinds, including tech jobs. It was under Obama, not Bush, that we had everything happening out of India and Bangladesh and everywhere else. You know, the call centers were moving away. Even stupid tech and call centers were moving offshore under Obama. Trump is trying to bring them back. And what do we get when Trump says, well, I saved some jobs? What do they complain about? Oh, well, the carrier deal. Well, Trump said that he saved 1,100 jobs, but, it was only 700, actually. Wait, what? So carriers still moved, 500 jobs offshore, or they're still going to. But it isn't the entire 1,100. But Trump said he saved 1,100. I mean, if you want to talk minutiae, you could say, well, Trump, you were wrong. It isn't 1,100. It's only 700. So what's the problem with the other 500 leaving? But no. They want to ignore the 700 people that are still going to keep their jobs that would have lost them under Obama. And they're going to focus on, everything that they complain about. Everything. Well, maybe not 100%. 99% of all that they complain about was brought about from their side of the political aisle. And yet somehow, when you bring that to light and you bring them face to face with the reality and the truth that is the real truth, their head explodes. They can't take it. Well, partly it's because then they have to realize and accept that they've been lied to big time by their side. CNN has admitted that the Russia thing is fake news. You got producers who are admitting it. You've got at least 3 reporters that we know about so far that are resigning over it, that have quit over it. You got a shakeup that's probably coming to CNN. What does CNN say? Well, it's about ratings. This is a business. Yeah, it's fake news basically, but it's a business. This is what people want. That's not what news is. It's not an entertainment industry type of thing. But you tell a leftist, there is no Russian collusion. They made it up. Oh, well, then why do they have Mueller? Why do they have Mueller? Mueller's out there investigating, and he's hiring more lawyers. They're investigating. They blow up on you. Because it's all about not the reality of what really is. It's all about what they wish for and want. But even what they want isn't being brought about by their side. Look, they still back Bernie Sanders, even though Bernie Sanders sold them out. He sold them down the river. Oh, I've got my beach house on a lake. All you rich people, you should pay more in taxes. And he's raking in more than $1 million. All you rich people are corrupt. And his wife is being investigated for corruption. And yet they still back Bernie Sanders. And you tell them, and it's, well, yeah, I got it right here. Jane Sanders is lawyering up because the FBI is looking into her dealings when she was president of Burlington College. You tell a lefty that, and they're like, "Oh, it's just a witch hunt." No, she actually did what they're saying that she did. She even, knows it and admits it. The only difference is whether or not it was criminal the way she did it or not, which is why they're investigating it. Because the whole thing stinks. It smells. It doesn't pass the smell test. But we're still supposed to believe it's nothing but a witch hunt on the Republican part? But the Trump 18 months of spying and investigating on Trump and his administration and his pre-administration with no information and no proof and no evidence whatsoever of everything that they're accusing him of. No evidence because it didn't happen. And yet they want to investigate even more, go even deeper and wider. It's amazing. Simply because these people, for whatever reason, well, the liberal house is a house of cards. And it's not that the house of cards has come tumbling down. The problem with the liberal house has been built of cards. It was built on sand. There's a 7.0 earthquake and a fire happening at the same time.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar. Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar. And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
They can't on the left, they cannot understand, they refuse to understand, their puny little pea brains just cannot comprehend the error of their ways and the illogic that they spew on a daily basis. Because when it comes back to bite them and you show them and you slap them in the face with their own bullshit, they don't know how to deal with it. So what do? They got to yell at you, try to shut you up, call you a fascist. When, again, it's all about this the pointing thing. One finger they're pointing at you and me. They're pointing a finger at you and me. But three of those fingers are pointing right back at them. Everything, just about every damn thing that these people are accusing us on the right, it's either because they're doing it in order to hide what they are currently doing or already have done. Trump, I've told you this, the Russian collusion thing is all about protecting those on the left who really did do colluding or tried to. By hook or by crook, they tried to. In that if this investigation gets shut down, if it goes away, well, I think the president ought to just say, screw this. He ought to say, well, now we're going to investigate Hillary, Obama, Lynch, all their connections. We're going to investigate Comey, all their connections. We're going to go after them 150% full bore. And that the Congress, if I were the president, I'd be demanding that Congress have hearings on every single freaking one of them. Bring in all kinds of witnesses. Just say, screw this stuff about Russian collusion. We know it doesn't exist. It didn't exist. We know it doesn't exist. There is no evidence, no proof, no. And we even know now by their own admission that this is just a ruse. It's just a way to get ratings. That's all there is to it. Let's go after the real criminals. I mean, you really want to drain the swamp, this is what you do. You reverse this whole thing on them. So y'all want to get to the truth, don't you? And the left would say, yeah, we want the truth. Great, now we're going to go out and find it. We're going to get the truth. But I don't even think Donald Trump has the guts to do that for whatever reason. I don't know his reason. Hell, if I were president, I would. I'd fire Mueller and say, you know what, this is ridiculous. You've spent all this time, all this money. There is no proof. You're all fired. But this is what we're going to do. We are going to go after the truth, and we're going to go after people like Hillary and Bill. We're going to go after Loretta Lynch and Comey for obstruction. We're going to go after Obama because it was his damn administration and everybody in it. And if you were a part of the Obama administration, you got 5 days to tender your resignation, because if you don't, you're fired. I would just clean house that way. I don't care if it would stumble the government for a little bit. The American people would be better off if the government wasn't fully functioning. As long as first responders and the military were not affected, the rest of the shit, let it go. It can stumble for a little while. You know what? If you fired all those people and all those departments weren't working at full capacity and their best, maybe then Congress would get off their ass and start approving and giving hearings, proper hearings to some of these people that the president has nominated. Just start firing everybody and going after anybody and everybody who leaked. Well, I mean, if you just fired everybody in the deep state in the first place, you get rid of all your leaks. That's easy to do. Well, maybe he's trying to figure out who's doing it, but that's irrelevant right now. You can try to figure out who did it and why later. Right now, just stop the leaks, get rid of them all. Every single one of them. Well, Rod, that's gonna hamper the guy. Well, it's not just the president's fault, because if the government gets hampered, Congress has got a job in this too, and they're not doing their job. And I would step it up a notch. What the president is doing, going to the American people, I'd step it up by really fully using that bullhorn in the bully pulpit and telling, because he's got Twitter, he's got his personal appearances. I'd let everybody know from Alaska to Florida, from Maine to California to Hawaii, exactly what the hell is going on. And I wouldn't stop until Congress got off their ass. And certain people literally were brought to justice. And this is ridiculous that we put up with this. Well, I, for one, I don't think we should put up with it anymore. We got our guy that's strong in the White House. Now it's time for him to start flexing his muscle. Maybe it's about to come. I don't know. Call Rod now. 666-603-835-3226.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
Three 835-3226. And that is a number that you can utilize to call the program should you wish to do so. Veritas. New Veritas video. As they're calling it, America Pravda. CNN. CNN ratings are incredible right now. President Trump is good for business. John Bonifield, CNN supervising producer, says Russia narrative is mostly, and we quote, mostly bullshit right now. CEO Jeff Zucker of CNN says, get back to Russia. Get back to the Russian story. President Trump is right about the witch hunt. There's no real proof. There's no giant proof out there. There's no real proof on this Russian collusion with him or anybody in his camp. Comes on the wake of CNN's Russiagate retraction and new rules on Russia coverage, as well as three of their major reporters resigning from CNN over all this fake news. Guess the president was right. All of this is captured on video. Now, I am sure Project Veritas is probably going to be sued and vilified and taken to court and prosecuted for illegally recording. I love that stuff when they try to do that. But I think they're still. Are they still taking them to court in California? I think so. Is it California wants to really take some of the people in Project Veritas and throw them in jail for exposing the truth. This is about as bad. Well, did you know that in there are a couple of states now where it's illegal for you to film, record what goes on inside, say, pig farms or ranches or chicken farms. Yeah, because they're too busy exposing the truth. Because, well, what does that mean, Rod? What do you mean exposing? Well, because it means that those who are colluding with these types of ranchers and these types of chicken farmers and pig farmers and such are in the government. A part of the FDA and the agriculture department when it comes to this stuff. And most of them are a bunch of career bureaucrats who are liberal. This is why it's illegal to film, because that's how you get the proof that you need, that you're looking for to prove that they're being jerks, basically. So do you think CNN was going to come out on the air and say, yeah, this whole collusion thing is made up for ratings? No, you got to get them when they don't think they're being recorded, when they don't think that anybody's going to believe it's going to be a he said he said or he said she said type of thing. When you can, because I guarantee you, if Project Veritas didn't have this video, they would deny it all. Oh, that's ridiculous. Of course not. It's not about the profits. It's not about the ratings. It's about getting to the truth. No, they just said, well, the Russian narrative is bullshit. It's all bullshit. There is no proof. There is no proof because there isn't any. In other words, it didn't happen. Not the way they're saying it happened. It happened for sure. Yeah, there was some collusion, but not on the Trump side. It was on the Obama, Wasserman, Schultz, Clinton side. Hell, we already know that there was collusion to steal the nomination away from Bernie Sanders. That's not even... Why isn't anybody even talking about that? In all this collusion talk, everybody seems to have forgotten. Well, why do you think they've forgotten about it? Like I said, this whole Russian narrative against Trump is to hide and protect and cover their own asses for what they've done. So we know for damn sure that they colluded, maybe not with Russians, but they colluded to prevent Bernie Sanders from getting the nomination. Now, it is highly possible that Bernie never did have a real chance in the first place. That's probably the truth there. But the point is that they weren't taking any chances. As I have told people before, when 2 years ago, I was telling, no. Bernie Sanders is not going to get the nomination. The Democratic Party, the DNC, is not going to allow Bernie Sanders to get the nomination. They will not allow him to get it. Even if he actually did, you could argue, you have a good argument to say that Bernie did have a shot because he had more excitement. He was drawing more people. He was drawing thousands of people to his event when in Hillary Clinton's events she could hardly get 200 people. I get that part. There was no excitement in the Hillary camp. There was no excitement from Hillary supporters. There was nothing there. All the momentum was on Bernie Sanders' side. I get it. But I told you back then, you Bernie Sanders people, I told you. You can go back and listen to my programs. Yeah, I told you. The DNC was not going to allow Bernie to win. Period. They would do whatever they had to do to prevent Bernie from winning. So we know for a fact through their own emails from their own damn servers that they colluded to make sure that Bernie did not get the nomination. And yet you people on the left are worried about Russians hacking the hacking came from the Obama administration Department of Homeland Security. The number of states that I'm learning about that have proof that they were hacked or attempted to be hacked is growing. What's it now, up to 5? I can't believe how right I am about this stuff. I tell you that the Democrats are pointing one finger at us while 3 fingers are pointing back at them, meaning that they're trying to cover their tracks. And it just seems like every single day I am proven more and more and more and more right. It's not hard, though, folks. It's not because I'm some sort of genius. All I do is just look at all the evidence and think logically. The evidence will eventually show itself. CNN was fake news. Yeah, Donald Trump knew CNN was fake news. The evidence would eventually show itself because, like every liberal, they can't keep their mouths shut. They're going to admit it sooner or later. And boom, there you go, Project Veritas, thinking that they can't be caught because they're so damn arrogant. That's their big problem. They're arrogant. Yeah, it's bullshit, but who cares? It's about ratings now. This is a business, man. This isn't about journalistic integrity or journalistic news. This is about a business. This is about ratings. And yeah, the whole Russian narrative is bullshit, but it gives us ratings. And here it is. It's mostly bullshit right now, Bonifield says. Like we don't have any giant proof. It's a business. People are like the media has an ethical push. All the nice, cutesy little ethics that used to get talked about in journalism school, you're just like, that's adorable. That's adorable. This is a business, he says. Now, according to this CNN supervising producer, John Bonifield, Bonifield, business at CNN is booming. Trump, he says, is good for business right now. All of this is on tape. It's on videotape. He says it. We know who Jeff Zucker is, the CEO of CNN. We know what he stands for. We know what he has said in the past. It's all about trying to cover. This isn't even so much to bring Donald Trump down. Folks, understand this. This really is not about trying to bring Donald Trump down. That would be the icing on the cake. This is all about stopping his so-called right-wing agenda while protecting and covering their own asses. That's what this is all about. This isn't even about business. If CNN's ratings were in the toilet, if they were worse than they have ever been before, they would still be on this Russian collusion thing. Why? Because it's about covering their collective asses. That's going to come out too. You just wait and see. Don't doubt me on that. At some point, this stuff is even all but the most diehard leftists are going to come out and say, "Well, look, can we move on? There's no proof here. There obviously nothing happened, not the way you say it. Let's move on." And when that day comes, I think the floodgates are going to open. Maybe that's what Trump is waiting for. He's letting all of this play out because he knows there's nothing there. He believes he's got nothing to worry about. I hope he's right, because leftists are they're cunning, they're conniving. They will do whatever, they will make up stuff if they have to. And of course, they're more than willing to kill to keep their secrets. Right? I mean, they're more than willing to kill to keep their secrets. Seth Rich, anybody? They're more than willing to use their social media friends to shut anybody down. It doesn't matter who they are. How many? Look what they did to Milo. I mean, my super fan Dom. His account went bye-bye. Now, and there are other people. You know, with 20,000 followers, 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers, their accounts have gone bye-bye because they're right-leaning. And who does that? Without a word, just one day you try to log in. Nope, you don't have an account here anymore. Nobody bothered talking to me. Was it a single tweet? There was no warning. You know, I can't have this kind of tweet, so I got to cut bits. No, none of that. Just some wonderful liberal leftist complains, and that could happen to any. Hell, that can happen to me. It's not that I'm huge, but does it matter? You know, I have nearly 14,000 followers on Twitter and growing. Am I going to get shut down? Probably. Because I don't hold back. I mean, this is just absolutely. Look, personally, I liked following Dom because Dom is, you know, he's got he's had a lot of powerful tweets, and he's had a lot of funny tweets. I'm sorry, but the man is just hilarious. He really is. Especially some of his video tweets are just he's hilarious. But the point is that he's on point. He's right. So this is what's happening to the right. They're colluding with all those wonderful leftists and the fake newsers, and they're trying to that what they don't realize is they have this false notion that they're the only games in town. They may have the biggest audience, but they don't have all the audience. And they're losing some of their audience to some of these upstarts. People are not taking this lying down. They're not. They're not going to put up with this kind of stuff. So at some point, all of this is going, it is going to go by the wayside. They're going to have to give up the CYA mentality. And that's when all the BS is going to come tumbling down. The house of cards is going to fall down, burn up. Because there is no base, there is no foundation whatsoever based in reality. They're going to get hammered. Will we eventually see people probably be prosecuted and go to jail? If we do, mark my words, if we do, it won't be people on the right. It's going to be people on the left because they're the ones that have committed the crimes in the first place.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message. A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said, "I'll bet you're a Nazi." Well, I love America, support the Constitution, and believe in capitalism. So I told him I'm not a Nazi, and I'm not. So what happens? The punk breaks out 2 windows and pepper sprays an elderly woman in the face. You know, there's one thing about long-haired young people nowadays. They're real assholes. Long-haired young people. You suck.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Warning. Listening to the Rod Eccles Show by the Idiot Left may cause outrage, fear, a need for safety pins and or spaces. If you experience any of these symptoms or are allergic to truth, tune in and learn something.
play the electric rock guitar. Like, well, it's not what is that? That's the funk guitar, right? Funk guitar. Don't misconstrue what I said. Funk. That's F-U-N-K. Funk. It just funk. That's the way I play it. It kind of reminds me of throwback. Anybody remember Starsky and Hutch? Yeah, Starsky and Hutch. You remember Huggy Bear? That song reminds me of Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch. Am I showing my age on that? And you could. Well, they used to. Starsky and Hutch used to be on like Nick at Night and stuff like that. So that was there is somebody around New York, Syracuse, New York, that had one of the original Starsky and Hutch cars. I mean, there were the TV shows. They have more than one car, like the General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard. There was more than one General Lee. They had one of these. I wonder if they still have it. They had one of the Starsky and Hutch cars. It was really kind of cool. And they would take it to car shows and everything. And it was nothing. It was really just the paint job. But it was a certified model. One of the cars that they used in the TV show, Starsky and Hutch. It wasn't really souped up or anything. It wasn't really anything special. But it was kind of cool to see it. And this car is a star, man. It was in TV. Starsky and Hutch, though, yeah, it was pretty cool. Wonder if they still got it. What we got here, though, is speaking of television cops, we might have a new television show coming based on this one. And this is from NWO Report. I guess that would be New World Order. NWOreport.com, is reporting that Colorado is training teachers to carry concealed firearms in classrooms. And this is, BBC Canada's is got, where the hell are our news people? Anyway, teachers are being trained to carry guns in classrooms in Colorado in order to protect children as part of a scheme motivated by a school massacre in 2012. It's a scheme. Part of a scheme. The 3-day course, which consists of firearms and medical training, was launched on Tuesday in Weld County. 17 members of staff who would like to be considered armed first responders have so far taken part. This is a pilot program, and it will allow volunteers to enter schools with guns under U.S. concealed carry laws. No, it's not U.S. concealed carry laws. It's Colorado concealed carry law. If they're in Colorado, we don't have a national firearms license. Yeah, we don't, unless you're a federal. Well, yeah, I'm not even sure if most cops can't even carry their firearm in another state. But if you're a federal cop, basically FBI, ICE agent or something like that, then of course you can carry. But teachers were taken to a shooting range in Weld County near Denver, where they were tested on their abilities with weapons. The course provided by the Faculty Administrator Safety Training and Emergency Response Group, FASTER, was set up by parents, law enforcement officers, and medical experts who believe that U.S. schools are soft targets for violence. Their group refers to schools as victim zones. Well, this is true. How many schools have been shot up? I mean, not just your public elementary and high school, but your colleges too. They are soft targets. Now, the group FASTER, their aim, it says, is not to replace police or security service, but to allow teachers and administrators and other personnel to stop school violence rapidly and to administer medical aid where necessary. Yeah, because this whole, it's been proven that this whole necessary thing of hunker down and bunkerize yourself is a false notion. It doesn't work. They just bust down the door, shoot it down, and then go in and shoot everybody in the room.
Today, there's a beer for everyone.
Hey, me and the guys are going out for beer. You want to come along? Nah, I got a lot of data to enter into the computer tonight.
Now, there's a brew for the future.
Want me to bring you something back? Thanks, but I got some right here.
Microsoft Brew.
You got a beer tap on your computer?
With a head so thick you can float a mouse on it.
Let me get this straight. You make your own beer with the computer? With the right software, you can do anything.
Microsoft Brew.
Here, I call this one Windows 95. I don't know, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
And if you gotta get there quicker, try the new ISDN malt liquor.
When I found out I had atrial fibrillation, a serious but highly treatable heart condition, the first thing I thought of was who would take care of my wife and children if anything were to happen to me? My doctor recommended Prevactin. I had a lot of questions, so I did some research. It turns out Prevactin is the #1 recommended drug for Crohn's disease. I think my doctor's trying to kill me and steal my wife.
Doctors. They'll stop at nothing to get your wife.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better, at nih.gov.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire. Here's Rod Eccles.
Yes, indeed, we are back. Hour number 3 here on the Rod Eccles Show on this Tuesday, June number 27 in the year of our Lord 2017. Welcome back. Call-in number 603-835-3226. Should you wish to join me here live on the program. And this remaining hour, fastest 3 hours here on Internet Talk Radio, is right here on the Rod Eccles Show, powered by Zinc Media Arts. Yes, indeed. We got a lot of stuff that we are working on this summer. Going to come to fruition by the time September and October rolls around. And I know a lot of people I see it a lot. And get notices, they're having a hard time sometimes picking up the quote-unquote signal. I just want folks to know that the main, we're still working on the syndication deal with CRN, but the main broadcast channel, come this fall, will not be Spreaker. Well, I mean, it just is. It's not. Spreaker is not the platform that that I believe is let's just say the most advantageous for a program like this. You don't have nearly. I mean, folks. I mean, it was what I saw over the winter was just ridiculous. Now, according to Spreaker, I have on Spreaker alone, over 900 followers. Now, I get it. A lot of people are not listening on Spreaker. They're listening to other vehicles out there, other networks. But I do remember back in the winter, I had over 900 followers, and then all of a sudden, within less than a 1 month period, I lost over 100 followers. Now, I just don't see people doing that. Really? Did they boot people? What did they were they acting like? And I know Spreaker tends to lean to the left, just like Blog Talk Radio did. And I know people complained about it. And Blog Talk Radio even back a few years ago admitted that they were, the CEO of BTR was a huge Obama supporter. And he made no bones about it that he didn't like, he felt he had to allow right-leaning programs on his venue in order to be quote-unquote fair. But he didn't like it. But I have seen this on Spreaker where you have popular Spreaker programs that lean right in the politics arena, that lean right. They do not get any support or I shouldn't say support. They don't get any promotion. And I've seen that some of these so-called podcasts on Spreaker that have, they have like 10 followers, and you go and you listen to the show, and you find that their most listened to show had 20 listeners, and yet they're getting promoted like crazy. Nobody's listening to them, but they're being promoted by Spreaker. And you get programs that get hundreds of listeners and have thousands of followers, and they're not promoted at all. So it is, it's time to move on. When you grow to a certain point, it gets to a point where you have to start looking at other venues. Now, the problem with BTR and Spreaker is that they think that they're the big daddy. Well, they might be the big gorillas, the 700-pound gorilla in the room, but they're not the only venue. And in this day and age, as we are finding out, it is relatively cheap and easy to set up your own network and radio and TV station. This is where YouTube is going to, eat itself up. This is where people are starting to form their own television networks without the use of YouTube. And they're well, some of them are by subscription. Some of them are supported by advertisers. And it's just, not to promote Levin's thing, the CRTV, but he's subscription only, pretty much like the Blaze. But those are huge. They have, millions of subscribers now. But they're not the only ones. So this whole alternative media thing, this whole thing has just been segmented to such a point where the big guys, and this is where places like CNN and ABC, CBS, NBC, MS, MES, they also continue to make the same mistake. They watch their numbers diminish, but they still think they're the big badasses on the court, on the playing. They're not. They're not anymore. They don't have nearly the reach that they used to have. And so when you have the press conferences and Spicer and Trump force the cameras off, and CNN has a hissy fit. Well, why does CNN have a hissy fit? Because they think that they still have an audience. And they don't. And look, they'll admit it. The reason why they have this stupid fake narrative is to get their ratings up, because they don't have an audience. And yet they still want to act like they're the big bad, wolves among the flock of lambs, and they're not. And it's just amazing to see this stuff, and when I get these reports from people that they're having trouble listening here or listening there, or the app doesn't work, or it goes down, and I think for somebody as big as Spreaker is, just like BTR, Blog Talk Radio, They shouldn't have these problems. Why does my program and programs like mine have these kinds of problems? Well, it's just like Twitter. Because they want to, and it's like Google in Europe. They want to force the stuff that they don't agree with down to the bottom. Now, folks, I don't own Spreaker. And frankly, I as I've always said, look, they own it. Yes, I'm paying for it, so it's a little bit different versus Google. So if I'm paying for it, I should be treated equally. At least if I'm whatever tier that I'm on, everybody on the same tier should be treated equally if we're all paying for it. But evidently, that's not the way Spreaker sees it. But again, I don't own that network. And I don't have to be on it. And indeed, I think there are a lot of people that are starting to see that there are other alternatives that work even better. Now, the reason why I moved the speaker from BTR, because Spreaker worked better than BTR. Sounded better. But now there are venues out there, and there are even venues that will help you just set up your own. Now, I don't think I'm going to go full radio or television network, but it's out there for me to do should I want to do it. And I have no doubt it would be a success. I just look at some of these others that are huge successes. And I'm not even talking about right-wingers. I mean, there are people that are moderates, middle of the road, like Tom Likas out of California. I mean, he's got a following of 700,000 subscribers on his, and he's strictly subscription-only radio, not even video, just radio. So people are tired of listening to this stuff and watching this stuff that is trying to be forced down their throat. Don't blame them. And yet these leftists, look, they're given the evidence, and yet they can't accept it. Hey, all you guys, MS Mess and Clown Network and ABC, CBS, and NBC, your viewership is down. And yet, and you see the ratings. I mean, these guys are getting like 3 to 5 share. I mean, that's just paltry viewers. And they still think that they're powerful. The evidence is right in front of them. And yet they still don't want to wise up. They can't, it's the old they can't handle the truth type of thing. And here's something more about this whole, this is from circa.com. Why is this whole Flynn thing so important to them? Well, according to Circa, they have a story here from circa.com. They're surmising that the FBI is retaliating against Michael Flynn by launching this Russia probe. Yes, indeed, the FBI launched a criminal probe against former Trump National Security Advisor Michael Flynn 2 years after the retired Army general roiled the Bureau's leadership by intervening on behalf of a decorated counterterrorism agent who accused the now Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe and other top officials of sexual discrimination, according to documents and interviews. Flynn's intervention on behalf of Supervisory Special Agent Robin Gritz, Gritze, or Gritz, was highly unusual and included a letter back in 2014 on his official Pentagon stationery, a public interview in 2015 supporting Gritz's case, and an offer to testify on her behalf. His offer put him as a hostile witness in a case against McCabe, who was soaring through the Bureau's leadership ranks at the time. And there is this highly politicized leadership thing within the FBI. And look, if you ever watch any of the TV programs that have based on FBI agents, especially now Criminal Minds, I can't tell you how many years in that series where the underlying storyline, just under, the cases that they went under, was the political BS that Supervisory Special Agent Hodgner had to go through. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And you know they got this stuff from reality. The leftists who put this show together are not making this stuff up. You've got agents who are in, I even know an FBI agent. You've got agents in the FBI that tell you that the former agents and current agents, it's highly politicized if you want to rise above supervisory special agent. If you want to get into the ranks where you're a desk jockey, you got to get very political. There's no way in hell you're going to rise to the ranks of deputy FBI director without being political. But that's not the way they, well, you could say J. Edgar Hoover put all this stuff into motion. That might be true. But you can't blame J. Edgar Hoover for the current status of the FBI. The FBI sought to block Flynn's support for the agent, asking a federal administrative law judge back in May of 2014 to keep Flynn and others from becoming a witness in her Equal Employment Opportunity Commission case. Memos obtained by Circa show this to be true. 2 years later, the FBI opened its inquiry of Flynn. Did they retaliate on Flynn because he was standing up for an agent that had accused a rising political star within the FBI, McCabe, of sexual harassment? Hey, we know liberals get away with that all the time, right? Just if you're a Republican, you can't get, if you even smell of sexual harassment as a Republican, you're going to get nailed. But, if you're over here on the left with the rest of us, you can do all kinds of things, I'm telling you right now. See, the problem with Bill Cosby is Cosby actually stood for some of the stuff that the right believe, and he didn't stay on the plantation where he was supposed to be. He's a black comedian. He's supposed to be completely and totally liberal like Chris Rock. That's why he couldn't get away with all his sexual stuff. But, hey, look at me. The country's first black president. I got away with all kinds of, sexual crap. I even lied about it, got away with that. I even changed a term of sex. I did. I'm great.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5+2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement,
But now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
And welcome back. Here it is right here I have in my currently cigar nicotine stained fingers. By the way, I haven't lit up my cigar yet this morning. Where's my morning cigar? I got my favorites back in stock, and I didn't. Hold on a second. I got to reach over here into the humidor. There. All right. There we go. Well, I can't light it up now because I'm talking to you. I can keep it in my mouth a little bit, can I? Well, can't understand me, so. Morning Perdermo cigar. There we go. Much better. Just to smell a cigar makes me feel like I'm alive. I'm alive! Any case, here we have a story right here from the AP. You know, it's easier to print out the AP because they don't have a lot of graphics and stuff on their stories. But here it is. Feds are looking into Bernie Sanders' wife and Bernie Sanders over a real estate. I kid you not. Dateline, Montpelier, Vermont. Federal investigators are looking at this. The federal investigators, meaning FBI, folks. Federal investigators are looking into the finances behind a real estate deal for the now defunct college that Jane Sanders was president of, and she put together this deal. She is the wife of U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders, and she has hired a lawyer to look after her interest. In other words, she's hired a lawyer to try to keep her out of jail. So said a family spokesman yesterday. The investigation, first reported by the news website Vermont Digger, VTDigger.com, is looking into allegations that Jane O'Meara Sanders made fraudulent claims and promises while seeking $10 million in financing for the real estate deal that caused the college to go under. The complaint against Jane Sanders was filed in early 2016 by attorney Brady Toensing, Toensing, who served as the Vermont campaign chairman for Donald Trump during his run for president as a Republican. In a separate complaint, Toensing alleged that Bernie Sanders' senatorial office pressured a bank to approve the loan. Sanders, an independent Democrat, ran for president as Democrat last year, but was ousted in the primary by cheating Hillary, who then lost to Trump in the general election. Asked about the allegations on Monday at a Washington press conference on expanding community health centers, Sanders sought to keep the question on health care and not on him and his wife. He said, "No, that's not what I'm talking about today," when an Associated Press reporter attempted to ask him about the FBI's new investigation. So there you have it. There's an investigation. Where is the lamestream media? Where is CNN on this one? What say you Bernie Sanders people and snowflakes and all you people on the left? Sanders has just been proven to be a gigantic hypocrite, and now we find that he's under investigation for something his wife did to an ultra-liberal college up there in Burlington, Vermont, called Burlington College, which is now defunct because of a deal that she put in place. You know, you're looking at it, folks, this deal was incredible. Do you realize there were not enough students to support a $10 million land deal? There were not enough students. So basically what she did when she bought that property to try to expand it, she killed the college right then and there. And where did she get the collateral for this? Well, that's what they're looking into. Did she fake this stuff? Was it fraudulent? Yeah, I guess we're going to, maybe if they actually are really serious about this investigation, we may find out. I don't know. Will Sanders not run for re-election for Senate? I'm thinking that if this gets any deeper, we'll see Sanders decide to retire and go away. This stuff is getting deep, folks. The swamp is getting even deeper.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Bring the rain.
Welcome back. 603-835-3226. That is a number that you can utilize to call in the program in the waning minutes we have remaining here on the program. Here from Grabien, or is it Grabien? Grabien. Still haven't heard it pronounced. I think somebody tried telling me how to pronounce it, but anyway, it's not that I really care. You know what it is. Warren Buffett is in the news. Single payer is the best system for America. Really, Warren? Here's a single payer? Does he not know how it... California has decided that they're not going to... that they're going to shelve their single payer system. Why? Because they realize it's going to cost them more than the GDP of the entire state. So why would it be such a good system for America? Why would Warren... Now, you have to understand what Warren Buffett owns. Warren Buffett owns or has a piece of many, many companies. And do you know that the Berkshire Hathaway owns the Geico Insurance? Yeah, that's, it's Geico's actually a cash cow. That's where they got a lot of it's where Buffett got a lot of his money to start buying up all these other companies or buying interest in them. I mean, even here in good old New England, we're not, I think they're one of the most profitable furniture stores per square foot in the nation, called Jordan's Furniture. We used to love to go to Jordan's Furniture, not to buy anything, but just it was like people will go to Walmart for entertainment. Yeah, we used to go to Jordan's for entertainment because it was a beautiful showroom. You got you could have ice cream and cookies and coffee and hot chocolate, and they played on week. It was actually it became a singles pickup joint on a Friday night, and they played it up. There was I think that they stayed a furniture store staying open till 10 or 11 p.m. And a furniture store. Who the hell's shopping for furniture at 10 o'clock at night? Well, there were still plenty of people in Jordan's Furniture at that particular point in time. They played it up. They knew it. They did things differently. And Buffett saw that and decided to buy into it. So he owns a piece of Jordan's furniture. But he's admitting that he's not an expert in healthcare. But he is a political heavyweight, and he understands that. And of course, everybody wants to invest their money like Warren Buffett. But he's recommending that America scrap its healthcare system in favor of a British-style single-payer state-run plan. But what he doesn't tell you is that the British state-run single-payer plan, they're trying to get away from. Because it's a complete debacle. He doesn't tell you that other countries that have the same thing, the healthcare system there is not the best in the world. They're complete debacles and they're expensive. I mean, for crying out loud, you don't even got to go very far to understand this single-payer style of system. Is just go to our friends of the North in Canada and how many people try to come here. One of the fastest-growing industries still in Canada is vacations, medical vacations. Yes, they have travel agents that specialize in medical vacations to the USA. They will help set it up. Hey, you want to go to the USA on vacation? We'll combine it with a medical trip and go to a hospital. And these, Canadians have to pay out of pocket for this kind of stuff. But they find that it's cheaper and faster if they do that than potentially waiting around and maybe even dying while waiting for their Canadian system to kick in and get but this is what Warren Buffett wants. Sure, wealthy people like Warren don't have to worry about single payer crap because they can pay for any kind of the health care they want. Why the hell how old is it? 88? Buffett is in his late 80s now, mid to late 80s. A single-payer program is probably the best system, Buffett said yesterday in an interview on PBS's NewsHour, because it is a system. We are such a rich country in a sense we can afford to do it. No, we can't. Folks, this is all because how can I put this? You have some ultra-rich people, a lot of ultra-rich people who claim to be very liberalistic. Why? Because it saves them from the hammer and sickle of the left. Now, you also have to understand, here's a guy who's made his entire fortune based on free markets and capitalism. And he's advocating now for a non-free market, anti-capitalistic system in our healthcare. But here's a guy who owns insurance companies. Well, why would he do that? He's also a guy who's been very clear and very adamant that when he dies, the bulk of his vast wealth is not going to go to his children or grandchildren. It's not going to go to his family. It's going to go to charities and the government. Yes, he firmly believes, and he has said this, that he believes the vast majority of his wealth should be redistributed after he dies by the government in the form of estate taxes. And he believes that this is the way it should be for everybody. So you and me, who have got a paltry, when we die, we have compared to him, paltry estate, worth, let's just say, $1 million. Well, your family shouldn't be able to get that, according to Warren Buffett. It should be taken by the government and redistributed in the form of estate taxes. I mean, that is just anti-biblical, for one. It is anti-capitalist, for two. And it's just plain stupid, for three. And make no mistake about it, he knows that. This is all about keeping the pitchforks from coming at them. If anybody's had not that he's had a unfair advantage, because he hasn't. He's worked for, he's invested. He's invested wisely. He's had the ability to do so, which now gives him a net worth of over $73 billion. And he's claiming that, you little people, you should have to go to the government. I won't have to go to the government. My family won't have to go through the single-payer government system because we've got the money to pay for whatever we need. But the rest of you, that's the way it should be. Who's going to pay for it? Just so, you people out there who idolize Warren Buffett, and I used to be one of those people. I always was, 80s and 90s, I was mesmerized by this guy that was able to seemingly pick stocks that were going to be huge winners at will. Whatever it was, if everybody was looking to try to follow Warren Buffett's investment strategy. There were books and seminars given about Warren Buffett's investment strategy. There were websites dedicated to even back in the early days of the web. There were websites that listed, all his investments, Berkshire Hathaway investments, and there were people that were making hedge funds and mutual funds based on Buffett's fund, Berkshire Hathaway. And everybody, it was like, what was his name from Fidelity? Everybody, they were all looking at this guy. They were all geniuses of the investment world. And everybody was trying to copy them and follow them. And it just seemed like nobody else could ever emulate those guys' success. Peter Lynch, remember him? The Magellan Fund of Fidelity. And he was a god of the mutual fund world. I don't know, what has happened to Peter Lynch? He's disappeared, dropped off. I don't know. He's just enjoying his millions, I guess. But these people were idolized. There were newsletters for based on this. And some of those newsletters were, they were $300 to $500 a year. But all these wonderful investors, and they all thought, well, it was worth it because, be able to follow Warren Buffett or Peter Lynch and all these other people who were considered to be gods back in the day. If you could put your money exactly the way they did it, you'd be ultra wealthy. And it rarely worked out for people that way. Because they obviously were missing some stuff. They were following Buffett and Lynch. So by the time they saw and got their newsletter that Buffett and Lynch were divesting of a certain company or sector of companies, they had already taken a hit on the stock price. Oh, these investors were going down the drain. So Buffett and Lynch they were selling out at the top of the market, and by the time that information disseminated down to all these wonderful little wannabe Buffetts and Lynches, the stock had been hit. They weren't making nearly as much. So there was a number of different factors which didn't allow these people to do, but they followed them like crazy. And now, look, I had Peter Lynch's book. And after reading it a few times, I read it more than once. People realize Peter Lynch really didn't tell you jack about how he did it. Now, I know he's had other books since then. I didn't bother buying those and reading those because the first one didn't tell me jack. Same way with Buffett. Didn't tell me jack. Well, Buffett never wrote a book. Everybody else is trying to write books on Buffett. I think maybe his ex-wife, she really wasn't his ex-wife, was she? That was just a strange relationship there, a triangled relationship. But evidently she spilled the beans. It wasn't very flattering of Warren either, I guess. I didn't read it. So now this is not the first time that Warren Buffett has said single-payer system is the right way to go. As many countries that have single payers that are just showing that it does not work and it's highly expensive, he's still saying, well, it's what we need to do. Why? Because all the people with the pitchforks, all the little, pissant people who want to stay at home and do nothing, sit on their asses all day long, they're the ones saying that we should have a single-payer system. Well, this isn't medieval Europe. We're not going to have people with pitchforks coming to lynch you. No pun intended to Peter Lynch. But I bet there are a lot of people out there who don't even remember Peter Lynch. I mean, he was the fidelity god. The Magellan Fund, it was like at his particular point in time, it was the most successful mutual fund if you could get in, because they closed it after a while. And it was ridiculously successful. In other stories, other news, the Supreme Court has agreed to take the case of the Christian bakers. The Supreme Court is going to take on the case that put them. Well, they didn't want to bake the gay wedding ceremony cake, whatever. So the Supreme Court is taking them up, and this is a religious freedom thing. Now, of course, everybody else on the left is making it sound like it's a discrimination case. No, it's not. Well, it is a discrimination case. Will you be able to discriminate against homosexuals or Christians? It's a religious freedom case. Are you going to be forced to support things that you adamantly disbelieve in because of your religion? And will this apply to, say, Islam? Do you think Islamists are going to pay attention to this kind of law from the Supreme Court if they were to fall on the side of the gay couple? Oh, hell no. Well, who's going to take Islam to good? How many times do Christians have to defend their faith? Why aren't Muslims having to defend theirs? I don't see any gay person going up to a Muslim bakery and demanding such a thing. Hey, it's just funny. But anyway, yeah, that's it. That's coming up. That's going to be taken up in when the court resumes in October. So next year we're going to have a ruling on the Christian baker thing. Good thing that we have Neil Gorsuch in place, and we may be able to have another one depending on which or how many liberal Democrats on the court retire this season. Everybody's looking at Kennedy and Ginsburg and they're placing bets on which one, if not both, will retire. Either one or both is fine with me. Trump gets to nominate the Supreme Court justice, and if he's anything like if the new nominee's anything like Neil Gorsuch, all the better.
What if I told you that you could lose weight simply by drinking coffee? Change your coffee, change your life. Our gourmet estate-grown coffee is infused with powerful herbs that help you melt fat and keep you from feeling hungry for 6+ hours. Get results or your money back. Order yours today at skinnycoffeeshop.com. That's skinnycoffeeshop.com. Tea and water also available. skinnycoffeeshop.com.
Have a legal problem and need some serious legal advice? Then you're listening to the wrong podcast.
Any facts we say here are probably wrong, and any analysis of the law should not be followed.
There you go. Reasonable men are here to take a twisted look at the law.
Stack your hayride.
Learn in hand. Best name in law school.
Check us out on iTunes, reasonablemen.com, or on your favorite podcast app.
Reasonable men are back.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement. But now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Here from Ripped from the Headlines is another wonderful story that I'm sure you'll be glad to know about. New study. Guess who's getting the shaft from Seattle, Washington's minimum wage hike? Yeah, we already know this, but this is just in additional gasoline in the fire of this thing. One of the core questions in the debate over minimum wage, does hiking the pay floor lead businesses to cut hours and jobs? A much-anticipated study released yesterday by a team of researchers at the University of Washington State, not a bastion of conservative thought, by the way, is likely to intensify that controversy just as Los Angeles heads towards its own minimum wage increase for large businesses from $10.50 an hour to $12 an hour on July 1st. Now, this whole the Los Angeles thing, that is the most convoluted thing I've ever heard of. If you have so many employees, if you're a big business, well, you got to pay a certain minimum wage. But if you're a smaller business, that's unfair competition in forcing certain fake wage floors. It's ridiculous. So if you have 100 employees, then your minimum wage must be $12 an hour. But if you have 99 employees, your minimum wage can be $10.50. Well, guess what they're going to do if they're on the edge, folks? The new study has found that jobs and work hours fell for Seattle's lowest paid employees after the city raised the minimum wage to $13 an hour last year. The analysis shows that jobs and hours for those workers declined faster in Seattle than in surrounding control areas where the minimum wage did not increase. And in fact, employment in the non-$13 an hour areas increased slightly over Seattle's decline. I can't make this stuff up. This is from, well, I guess you can make it up. Who knows? More headlines. Illegals fleeing from Trump to Canada not faring well in Canada. Now they're caught in limbo in Canada. Guess Trudeau isn't living up to what he was saying. 5 senators, GOP senators, say that they're going to block the health care bill from advancing. And SCOTUS deals a blow to the Second Amendment in Peruta versus California. Maybe we'll have some time to get into that one tomorrow. It has to do with gun carry and anti-gun laws in California and how they seem to be anti-First Amendment and that kind of thing. And people are really, really upset over that. But we'll see what the court has to say about that. In the meantime, though, don't try to run out there and be like Warren Buffett. Please don't try to be like Warren Buffett, because you can't want government run anything. Government can't run anything well, except for the military. And then usually the military isn't run by the government. The military is run by military brass with a single executive or commander-in-chief. And notice whenever government gets involved in military actions like Vietnam and South Korea, the Korean War, they don't do very well. Get the government out of the way. Well, we're out of time for today, but we'll be back here for Hump Day tomorrow, so have a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Left dogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain what, why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For Clinton, what's loaded in some fat Apple file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.